Okay, let's try this again. This is my second attempt, by the way. The first video did not upload, got a weird error message, so hopefully this one works, otherwise I quit. Video number 1, we're going to talk about what does an exponent of 0 mean and why. So I'm going to show you what it means and why it means that. Video number 2, what do negative exponents mean and why. And then video number 3 will be some example problems of how to simplify. And video number 4 will be some example problems of how to simplify when there's negative exponents. So, notes, write this down. Yeah. I guess I don't have to pause because you could always pause the video. So that's the cool thing about this. One of the cool things. So let's see. I'm gonna use base 2. Why base 2? Because we're pretty good at multiplying by 2s. So 2 to the 4th power equals 2 times 2 times 2. This is called exponential form. This is expanded form, and what we're about to do here is write the answer. That's called evaluating. So 2 times 2 is 4, and that's also 4, so it's like 4 times 4, which is 16. Yeah. 2 to the 3rd, which means 2 times 2 times 2, which equals 8. And we're going to keep on going down until we get to 2 to the power of 0. And let's see what happens. 2 squared equals 2 times 2. Okay, and then 2 to the 1st equals just 1. 2. Take a look at that. 2 is equal to 2 to the 1st. They mean the same thing, but we never write the 1 when the exponent is 1, by the way. Dun. Okay. And then 2 to the 0. First of all, you can't write something 0 times. So this part is impossible. You can't expand it. This is called expanded form. Yeah? Not possible. What do you think it equals? Question mark. Well, we're about to find out what it equals, and we're going to use pattern recognition. So the exponent is decreasing by 1 each time. Each time here, you get 1 less factor of 2. And then the 16 became an 8, and 8 became a 4, 4 became a 2, so it's cutting in half each time. Cutting in half is like dividing by 2. Yeah. 16 divided by 2 is 8, and then 8 divided by 2 is 4, and then 4 divided by 2 is 2, and then we continue this pattern. And it's not what you think. Most students think the answer is 0. But that doesn't make sense based on the pattern. So the pattern tells us that the answer must be 1. 2 divided by 2 is 1, not 0. Let's see if Mr. Mead is a liar or not. Does 2, by the way, that is the power button right there, to the power of 0. I said it's 1. Based on the pattern, it should be 1, but I could be wrong, I suppose. But I'm not. How about 3 to the power of 0? That's also 1. How about 4 to the power of 0? Also 1. 98 to the power of 0. Also 1. Why is that? Let's take a look at one more example, and then it should be a little bit more clear. Yeah. So base 2, easy to work with 2s. The next easiest number to work with is 10. 10 to the power of 4. equals 10 times 10 times 10 times 10, which equals 10,000. Here's why it's real easy to work with tens as the base, and why the whole planet uses a base 10 number system, by the way. Whatever the exponent is always tells you how many zeros there are. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 zeros, etc. Easy to work with tens, yeah. 10 cubed equals 10 times 10 times 10, which is 1,000. 1, 2, 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3 zeros. 3. 10 squared. You learned that in 3rd grade, yeah? 10 times 10 is 100. You learned that in 3rd grade. 2 zeros. 2 zeros. Exponent is 2. 10 to the first power is just 10. And we get, finally, 10 to the 0 power. It's impossible to write something 0 times. So, cross that out. Straight to here. Let's talk about the pattern again. So, the easy pattern here is there's one less 0 each time. So if we use that as our pattern, take away a 0, take away a 0, take away a 0, take away a 0, we get, oh, look at that, 1. Works with 2, works with 10, works with any number you want it to work with. We could use base 6, base 4, base whatever. And we're always going to get the same result here. How come? The pattern is really whatever the base is, that's what is dividing by each time. Yeah? Dividing by 10. Dividing by 10. Dividing by 10. And then you get to this stage right here, always, doesn't matter what the base is, you're always going to get the number divided by itself, which is 1. Which leads me to my next point. You learned that anything divided by itself is 1. Yeah? By the way, leave some room here. We're going to need it for the next part of the lesson, which is negative exponents. So maybe towards the bottom, you learned in elementary school 4 divided by 4, 1. 12 divided by 12, 1. 98 divided by 98 still equals 1. Anything divided by itself is 1. So, elementary school, you learned that. Middle school, we maybe gave you problems like this in middle school. Yeah? 3 squared divided by 3 squared. It's the same thing, it's just 9 divided by 9, which is 1. And then of course you get to high school, and we throw letters in to the mix, and all heck breaks loose. N divided by n, just 1. N stands for some number. Divided by itself, you're always going to get 1. Doesn't matter what that number is. Okay, yeah? Okay, and more high school. Let's do this. Let's do x to the 5th power divided by x to the 5th power. Okay? You learn, doesn't matter what. Anything divided by itself is always going to be 1. Fact. And then yesterday's lesson, which was called the quotient property of exponents, says when you're doing a division problem, you subtract the exponents. So x to the 5th divided by x to the 5th, this is just a different way to look at it, is x to the 0, because you subtract 5 minus 5, which is 0. So we have the same problem. Using this line of thinking, we got a 1. And using the quotient property of of exponents, we got x to the 0. So logically, this and this must be equal to each other. So I'm going to write it up here. So x to the 0 must equal 1. Why is that important? X stands for any number. That's what variables mean, right? So any number to the power of 0 is always going to be 1. You solve that on the calculator. There's not a number you can think of where the answer is not going to be 1. 5.2. Even decimal. It doesn't even matter. Any number to the power of 0 is going to equal 1. Alright. Hopefully it uploads this time.